And for Cauchy-Riemann equation, normally it's come with this one. So the u is the velocity component on x-axis, can be written as d psi. Okay, this is psi. So d psi over dy, and v is d psi over dx. So the psi here, so this is psi. So the psi here is actually the stream function. Okay. In some textbooks, they will give you v is equal negative d psi dx. Okay, so but in this solution, it is okay for us to neglect the value of x at the negative value, because the direction is not so important. Okay, so if in basic way of Cauchy-Riemann equation, the negative value is very important because we try to differentiate the counterclockwise and clockwise rotation direction. Okay, that is very important. But sometimes in real application, we could neglect the value of negative, because the idea is simple. So for example, you have a vortex here, so mean the water flow like this. So let's say you have a pond here, and then you will find that the pond rotate like this one. Okay, so means that it is okay just to imagine. If you see from the top here, you will find it is clockwise, but if you see from the bottom here, you will see it is rotate is counterclockwise. Okay, so means that the direction is actually, the negative sign is actually to reflect the direction. Okay, but in some textbook they will neglect because they just want to get the positive equation, something like that. Okay, so in this situation, we could rearrange the value here. D psi is equal to u dy, and d psi is equal to v dx. And then we could rearrange here to have the, because the psi is actually the same. Okay, so and then we could write u dy is equal v dx, and then we could rewrite like this one. So and then we substitute all the value because we have here as given in the question. So we substitute everything. So and then, so this is very important, not just substitute the value. You know how to solve this one. Normally when we have the differential term in left and right equation, so to neglect or to neutralize that, so we integrate these two equation. So we integrate left and right side. So and then because 1 plus 2t is nothing to do with y, so we could put it out from the calculation. So we only have the integration of 1 over y and the integration 1 over x, and finally we could get this one. So and then please do not forget that if you integrate something, you will get a constant value. So you have a constant value here, and then if you rearrange the equation here, so you could write y is equal to constant times x to the power of 1 over t plus 1 plus 2t. So what is the meaning here that you could get for your research? Okay, that's why in certain journal, if you read a lot of journal, especially in about the Reynolds number, Weber number, and so on and so forth, about the dimensionless number, you will find that they sometimes they will create log graph. That's why, because actually sometimes your calculation will looks like this. You have log graph, you have log. That's why it is good for you if you have an idea when you do your master project. You plot, you get all your data from your experimental works, and then sometimes you will get a lot of data that maybe cannot be concluded easily. So another tricks to solve that is, why not you do the log graph, whether you start with the x log and y is not log, or both axis is log condition. Inshallah, you will get a straight line or something simpler from the previous data. That's the trick, because we could see many fluid mechanics calculation, they will go through like this. So and then again, what you need to understand here, if you have a constant here, you cannot remain the constant as a constant. Constant must have value. That is the idea of constant. It is a fixed number. Okay, how to get that fixed number? So you need to substitute with certain coordinates. So let's say we assume that it go through x0 to y0, so means the origin and something like that. So and then we substitute the value of x0 y0, so again we could get that c is equal to y0 and x0. So and then if you rearrange all of these things, you could simplify the equation as y equal y naught, x equal y over y naught equal x over x naught with power of 1 plus t over 1 plus 2t here. So and then what you could get an idea here is actually in master level, okay, you are free to give your assumption. So for example here, okay, we know that we have a pipe here, for example. So and then we assume that, okay, this is the origin x0 y0, because if the circular here, so we have a circular and then we have this is an x, so this is an y. So and then we see that our coordinate is about x and y. So and then we assume that it will flow at the center point, so we give is at y naught and x naught and y naught. Okay, so finally you will get this one.